Aliens and Dead Space. Alien and Aliens are amazing movies, with the first being a horrifying situation of an alien life form boarding the Nostromo, and aliens ramped everything up by multiplying the amount of aliens and the amount of people fighting them. Dead Space having to go on a repair mission to a planet cracker, being met with death and reanimated necromorphs, fueled by an alien artifact. What do both these series have in common? They have a really janky killing floor total conversion. They are two killing floor mods, both made by the Wolfpack clan. Before we talk about these mods, let's talk about them. Let's go take a look at their site. What the fuck? The Wolfpack clan is, looking at them now, a seemingly defunct group of gamers that hosted servers and produced mods for games. Two of the mods they created were Aliens Killing Floor and the Dead Space mod. Let's start with Aliens Killing Floor. Aliens Killing Floor is a mod created in 2012 by the Wolfpack clan, with the main contributors being some prolific modders, Hemi, Whiskey, and Braindead. These people have made some amazing mods which are used to this day on servers. Oh, and did I mention fucking Marco helped with this? The same Marco that worked on the original Killing Floor mod, and made probably the most important mod for Killing Floor, server perks, which is what 90% of modded servers use for their perks nowadays. Oh, and some of the maps that are meant for this mod are made by fucking Swift Brutal Death and Fell. If you don't know who those are, they made a lot of great maps for Killing Floor 1, with a few of them getting into the game, like Hell, Forgotten, Clandestine, and these mappers were hired by Tripwire and work for them to this day, I hope. Basically, this mod had the fucking Killing Floor Avengers behind it. Oh, and this mod is Alex Quick approved! So yeah, it's pretty fucking cool. It was started in 2010 by Wolfpack Clan. According to the mod page, it started when Braindead and Hemi ported the pulse rifle from Aliens. So, they decided to take a step forward and port the entirety of Aliens to Killing Floor, and it led to what we have now. It reskins and overhauls the gameplay elements completely to fit the theme. Alright, let's just get into the mod. So when you start, you can play as a selection of Marines from Aliens, or you can play as Ripley. The characters look decently accurate, even if they are a little bit crabby looking, or scary in Ripley's case. But it's nice that we have them at all. And they even come with custom voice commands, which is pretty cool. You have 3 perks to choose from: the Rifleman, standard soldiers who are best with a pulse rifle and spawn with it, Specialists, who use shotguns, smart guns, and turrets, and the Medic, who, well, heals, and can use any weapon. There's also a planned Lieutenant class, but it never got added to the mod, as it seems the mod stopped development shortly after being released. Most of the weapons have been replaced or modified to fit the theme. The standard pistol has been replaced with the Wayland Yutani Pitbull, a really, really cool sounding and looking gun. It uses a default KF firing sound, but it really fits the model. It also comes equipped with a laser sight. The gun feels really strong, but it really isn't that good to be honest. Then there's the USCM MK17, or the KF1 Scar, but green. It feels about the same as the Scar, but I'm not a big fan of it in this mod. It does very little damage. The M41A Pulse Rifle. My favorite gun in the mod. It does a good amount of damage, and sounds just like the fucking movies. It's really cool. If anything, it's just a little bit too quiet. It comes with a grenade launcher, can be really useful in bad situations. Yeah, this gun is pretty sick, and you can rack up a lot of kills with it. Next up are the 2 shotguns, which, honestly, I didn't use that much since the ping on the server I played made them really hard to use. But it's the Ithaca Model 39, and the USCM Breacher, aka the HSG, but green. I can't really give an opinion on them since they were so hard to use with the ping, but when my pellets actually did connect, they did seem to do a decent amount of damage. The M56 Smart Gun. This thing is fucking awesome. It's really jank, but really fun to use. Without the aim mode, it's just a very inaccurate minigun, but when you turn on the sights, it locks onto everything. It seems to run off a little bit of a charge to balance out the power, which is understandable. It is so cool, my second favorite gun for sure. The M240 Incinerator Flame Unit, which honestly isn't bad, but it's too dangerous to be viable on most maps. This is vanilla KF1 flamethrower mechanics we're talking about, without any firebug perk benefits. So on tight maps where the aliens are always in your face, it's straight up suicidal to use this, which is very unfortunate as it's really fun to use when it works. The USCM X4, aka M32 but green. It's a pretty good backup weapon as a rifleman. It can take out hordes really fast, it's great to use on the boss. Main downside, just like the regular gun, is the very slow reload times. Finally is the Sentry Gun, which I actually never used. It probably just acts like the Portal Turrets mod, but it can only be used by support, which I never played much on this. Along with those weapons, you get the Welder, the Syringe, only if you're a medic. You can buy the Motion Tracker in the shop, which is really cool and probably my favorite feature. It will stay in your HUD and alert you of aliens around you. It looks just like the ones in the movies. You can also buy medkits if you're low on health and have no medic on your team. You're equipped with a shoulder light, which is just a flashlight. And they did something really nice with it, where it stays on even if you're not holding it out, and it has no battery. This is really useful since a lot of the maps in here are really dark. I really wish they would have given you a knife though, as you don't spawn with any melee and you can't buy one in the shop. I kinda get why you don't have it, but also if you run out of ammo you're just kinda screwed and you can't do anything because of it. And also, there's no like medic specific weapons, but I think they really could have added the M7A3, I think it's called. That gun could have fit the mod perfectly and been a nice weapon for the medics to use. Going into the enemies, every Z has been replaced with a xenomorph, and most of them act completely unique from their KF counterparts. There's 4 crawling xenomorph variants, with each getting progressively faster and stronger, including the drone, rigid head, warrior, and runner xenomorphs. These behave like killing floor crawlers, but with much more advanced, albeit a little jankier AI, where they can jump between walls and leap much further. There's also 2 standing variations of the xenomorphs, with them being the Stalker and the Spitter. The Stalker just walks pretty slow, but he does decent damage if he touches you. And then there's the Spitter, which, well, spits at you. There's 2 different types of face huggers you can find, a regular and a queen version. They're small and will try to sneak up on you and latch onto you. When they grab you, if a teammate doesn't help you in time, you'll be turned into a ticking time bomb. You'll eventually blow up, leaving a chest burster that'll attack your teammates. And then finally at the end you have the big one, the queen. She's huge, lays eggs, and rushes you. Ultimately though, a little bit of a pushover. So yeah, a really cool lineup of enemies. The only complaint I have is that they don't have much hit feedback. When you shoot them, they don't really bleed or anything, and they don't make any noise, so it's kinda hard to tell sometimes if you're doing damage. I also just think because of the crawler AI, the pathing in this mod really suffers. They'll get stuck a lot. Overall, the gameplay is similar to regular Killing Floor, where you fight waves of enemies till the boss, with each wave getting harder. This mod is really hard in solo. It even says it's not meant for solo on the page. So I recommend getting on or hosting a server if you want to play this, and getting some friends or other people to play with you. If I did have any real complaint for the gameplay, it's just the removal of random HUD elements. They got rid of traitor arrows, number of Zeds left, health bars above teammates. It's not game ruining, it's just really strange. It feels like it wasn't thought through completely. It comes with 3 official maps: Atmosphere Processor, a rework of the map Electric Field from Unreal. This map is probably the easiest just because it's so open and aliens are bad at pathing. Alien Tunnel, a map that feels the most intense and looks the best in my opinion. And then Haley's Hallway, which isn't the greatest map in my opinion, but it earns points for being based on the movie. There's also some other community maps made for it, but a lot of them aren't on the workshop for some reason. My favorite official map is probably just Atmosphere Processor, just because it looks really cool. Additionally on the maps, they use music from the actual movie scores, which really ties everything together nicely. Overall, my opinion on Aliens Killing Floor, I recommend. It's certainly not perfect and it has many flaws, but I think it's a fun experience. I wouldn't want to play this every time I play Killing Floor, but I wouldn't be opposed to playing it every now and again. I can really recommend this if you like Killing Floor and you like Aliens, and just want to have a fun side thing to try out. As long as you can find people to play with. Remember, not good solo. Moving over to the Dead Space mod. This one is a little hard to review, as there seems to be multiple versions of it out there. The original, which is on the Wolfpack clan servers, seems to be lost now, with it having way more original weapons, with them being ported from Defense Alliance 2, another mod I need to talk about. It also had custom perks and characters. Then there seems to be a V1.3 and V2, which seem identical, and then there's V3, which isn't made by any of the original creators, it's made by PJ. The version I played was V2, I think, and it was a lot less customized than the Aliens mod. Let's begin with the perks. It's vanilla. There's no characters either. There are Dead Space characters, but they aren't included in this main mod for some reason. There also were perks made for this, but they aren't included in the current downloads. The EarthGov Marine, which is meant to be a combination of Commando and Firebug, EarthGov Security, which combines support and demolitions, EarthGov Triage, which was a strange combination of medic and sharpshooter, and finally Isaac Clarke, the Berserker. It kinda sucks that we can't use these, but it's also weird to combine perks like that. When you start, you'll notice the strange inventory that each player has. You'll only be equipped with the standard syringe, welder, and the motion tracker from the Aliens mod. It's a nice addition, but it doesn't really make sense for the Dead Space mod. I don't know, it's weird. Then you have the pulse rifle and the plasma cutter. The pulse rifle is fucking amazing. It feels really nice to use. It has a good firing sound and good animations. I'm actually surprised how good it looks since it was made for a third-person game. It has no alt fire, but the fire rate and damage make up for it. Then you have the plasma cutter. Not as good as the pulse rifle, but it's nice that we have it. It doesn't behave anything like the Dead Space original. It's more like a mini shotgun, but without any penetration. It feels really weird to use, especially as somebody who played Dead Space. It has an alt-fire that rotates the gun just like the game, but for some reason it also doubles the amount of pellet shot without any additional ammo cost, so there's no reason not to use it all the time. And just like Aliens, you spawn without a melee weapon, for some reason. From there, when you get to the trader, you can buy every gun from vanilla, so it kinda makes the 2 custom weapons lose their place. They'd probably still be special if you had to buy them, but now that you can just buy like the most busted guns in the game, there's no real reason to keep using them. They're especially bad since they don't get any perk benefits. It's really weird that the weapons created for this mod weren't brought over to the standalone release. Even if they were just ported from Defense Alliance, they had permission to use them. Anyways, with the Zeds, or should I say Necromorphs, it's a lot more evenly distributed in the type of Zeds they're based on than the Aliens mod. On one hand, it adds more variety and makes it more similar to normal Killing Floor, with you facing multiple different types of enemies, so it can be seen as a benefit, but I don't think it really works for this mod for one simple reason. A lot of these Necromorphs just look way too similar. You Killing Floor Zeds all look very distinct. They all have their own color palette and their own silhouette. While a good amount of the necromorphs do look distinct from each other, a lot of them also just blend together. Add in the fact that there's multiple necromorphs for each Zed type, it ends up just being kind of a mess. Now, this could just be the point of the mod though, as all the Zeds are also very much faster than normal Killing Floor. Anyways, speaking about the necromorphs themselves, I can't list off all of them, we'll be here all day, but some of the notable ones in my opinion are the Unitologists, the Twitchers, the Pack, and the boss, Necromorph Isaac Clarke, who I actually never got to, as the mod is kinda hard. He seems to act very similar to the Patriarch though. Overall, if the Zeds do have one big benefit over the Aliens mod, they have way better hit feedback in my opinion. Although still not as much as regular Killing Floor, you can tell more when you're actually shooting these guys and doing damage. So yeah, the enemies are flawed, but they're cool to fight since they're fucking necromorphs. And it's not unplayably bad gameplay-wise. The gameplay loop is the same as regular Killing Floor, but just, being much more similar to vanilla, just because you have all the regular weapons and perks. Although sadly this mod doesn't come with any original maps, so you just gotta play normal ones. So this mod isn't as expansive or as good as Aliens in my opinion, but it's not terrible. In the end it feels like a budget version of the Alien mod, which makes sense since this kinda was. Looking at the credits seems to have mostly been Hemi from Wolfpack Clan, and more of a passion project of his. I think you should check it out if you like Dead Space, and if you're okay with more bland Killing Floor experience. But if you do want to play it, I have to recommend V3. It's only on a server created by PJ, but it expands on the formula in a really good way. It adds more elements like new Zeds, new perks, turrets, ammo turrets, while it also removes the traitor to make it feel more unique. It's not endless, but it's kinda like one big wave. If anything, it feels more like Left 4 Dead survival. You're stuck with whatever you spawn with, and you have to survive off ammo turrets and just find ammo around the map. There's randomly gonna be big hordes throughout it, and like big Zeds. It's really cool. Like I said, if you want to play the mod, play it on this server. It's overall just a much better experience. While both of these mods may not be as good as regular Killing Floor, they are really cool proofs of concept and a fun side thing to try out. They're also probably some of the biggest mods scope-wise for Killing Floor. I think Wolfpack Clan did a great job creating these. And as a fan of Aliens and Dead Space, this is just really cool. I love both those series and being able to play them in my favorite game. It's great. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see more Killing Floor or gaming content like this, like and subscribe. I will see you in the next video.